morning.
Good morning.
My name is...
Morning.
All right. Well, so I'm done.
That's it? You're jumping in.
Thank you. My name is Steve Mackin. I'm a district sales manager for Simonton Windows. I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I have several states. My territory is Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, Utah, and Idaho. So, however, our biggest distribution channels are here in the Denver Metroplex. So I appreciate y'all taking the time out of your morning. I would invite anybody, if you have questions in the middle of my spiel, please raise and interrupt, because your question may be the same question that he has. I'd like to introduce Earl McGraw. Earl is the regional sales manager for Amcraft, which is our distributor who will be marketing our Simonton programs through the Amcraft program. The gentleman in the blue shirt is Tony Eschmeyer. Tony is my regional manager. Tony is in the process of relocating from the Marietta, Ohio area here to Denver. And so Tony will be responsible for, believe it or not, you all are in the Southwest region here in Denver. So, but Tony will cover this area as well. How many folks have heard of the Simonton window line? Okay, good. That's encouraging. Simonton we've been in business for over 65 years as a window company. Up until the last, and I'm giving you a little bit of history about Simonton to help you all validate our product, the Amcraft product, in the home, to where you can assure the homeowners that that they're buying a good product that's been around. We've been in business for over 65 years. We have 6 plants around the country, 3 in West Virginia. We have 1 manufacturing facility in Paris, Illinois, which is right on the Illinois-Indiana border. We have a facility in McAlester, Oklahoma, which is an hour and a half south of my hometown of Tulsa. And we have a facility out in California, in the Sacramento area, a town called Vacaville. Simonton is part of the Fortune Brands group. And Fortune Brands is a large, multi-billion-dollar company based in the Chicago area. Is that correct? They have 3 different business models. They have the home and hardware division, they have a spirits division or alcohol, and sporting goods. Okay, in our home and hardware division, and again, this is another validation point, part of our Fortune Brands sister companies is Moen Faucets, Master Lock, Therma-Tru Doors, Aristocraft Cabinets. In the spirits division, Maker's Mark Whiskey, Salsa Tequila, Courvoisier Brandy, and in the sporting goods division, some of their products are Titleist golf equipment, FootJoy, Acushnet. So again, we're all aligned with top shelf products. Now, I mentioned that we have the 6 manufacturing facilities. We also have our own extrusion company. We extrude our own vinyl lineals for both our mainframes and our sashes. We temper our own glass. We have a tempering oven in West Virginia and a tempering oven in Oklahoma. Most of our products we can get to you all within 7 days. That's the nice thing about Simonton. From ordering to delivery, 7 days. I mentioned we have our product line, and again, Jared is working on giving our product line a private label, if you will. So I'm going to call this our Premium Plus product, and you guys will use your nomenclature at some point. As I said, we extrude our own vinyl, so all of our lineals on our mainframe, the multi-chambered. Those of you that have been in the window business know that multiple chambers is dead air space. Dead air space is insulation. So people will say, you know, do you all, some manufacturers will fill the cavities with foam. Not needed. It's a nice story, but it's not needed with Simonton. Multiple chambers also employ angles, and again, everybody will be equipped with component bags, but each of these angles is an extra strength. We know about when we're putting up fascia around the house on the siding. We'll put some bends in the fascia to provide the strength. The same concept with this. Now Simonton has a exclusive feature on our double hung products, and all of our Premium Plus products are double vented, either double slides or double hung. It's a sill, it's a triple step sill. Now, what we like to say is, again, it's multi-chambered as well, but it looks a lot like a wood window, doesn't it? I mean, if you were to look at it, it's a wood window, but also, more importantly, it's going to perform like the steps on your house. Imagine, if you will, trying to sweep dirt up the steps of your house or spray a water hose up the steps of your house. It's virtually impossible, and that's the same concept that the triple step sill handles. Now, the multiple chambers also in the sill eliminates any crowning that you're going to have. And the main frames themselves are fusion welded, as opposed to mechanically fastened. Fusion welded. Same thing can be said for our sashes, our sash products. Multiple chambered. It has dead air spaces throughout. The glass penetration, the insulated glass unit is seated into the frame itself 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so it's down deep into the hole. So in other words, when the cold air from the outside, it has to transfer all the way down and all the way back up. And we'll be passing out some pamphlet or some printed matter later to kind of review all of this. The glass itself, the insulated glass unit, is exterior glazed. In other words, you've got on the interior, you've got a nice trimmed out, very attractive piece of vinyl with an aesthetically pleasing trim. The glazing bead on the outside is what we call a dual durometer. And by dual durometer, it's rigid enough to fit into the main sash frame itself, but it also has and I don't know if y'all can see it from back there, it has a kind of a pliable gasket that seals around the exterior, so it's going to provide, keep the water out, and plus you have the wind load blowing against one final glazing tower, if you will. Any questions?
Mac, if I can just to touch on a couple of pieces. Some exclusive components or some exclusive design features of the Simonton window. Typically, when you pick up a vinyl window, you may pick up some and you can actually feel them move in your hands. Simonton extrudes its own vinyl, so we control what is going into the window itself. But we extrude our vinyl at a 0.072 ball thickness, which actually provides greater strength, greater rigidity, and better thermal insulation than typical vinyl windows. What you'll see in a typical size 3050 double hung or 3050 slider, Simonton's vinyl weight's about 24 pounds. Industry average is about 17. So there's actually more vinyl in this window than there is any other vinyl window that's on the market today. The other important thing that I wanted to bring up is that just like building a house or building a car, it's only as strong as its chassis. And the frame for a window is a chassis, because this provides the insulation, it provides the foundation for all the operable parts of a window. If you have weakness here, over time, even if you've got a great installation, over time, if that vinyl frame is weak or is thin, will move, it's essentially going to make that window inoperable after a certain amount of time. So if you've got a strong foundation, you've got a strong and durable window. Something to talk about when we talk about it. Okay?
The overall thickness of the main frame is 3 1/4 inches. However, with the screen frame, the beveled screen channel, you actually have a butt dimension of almost 4 inches from inside to outside. Okay? As I mentioned, the sash is exterior glazed. The product itself has over 18 different strips, or 18 different applications of weather stripping. Now you'll notice on the bottom of the sash, we have a closed cell foam, 2 applications of closed cell foam bulb seal. And by closed cell foam, you've got the foam on the interior with a rubber gasket around the outside. And you'll notice when you do see the samples that the exterior application of the bulb seal actually has a flap that's going to fit down over this top sash. And then it also has a hooded weather strip as well to prevent any water infiltration. Now there's weather stripping around, and again, double vented product. We have both sashes will operate in tilt. We have the weather stripping on the bottom of the sash. We have weather stripping around the face and at the beading rail. We also have weather stripping on the sill dam itself. Then weather stripping across the beading rail. 2 applications of bulb seal on the top of the sash, along with weather stripping around the face as well, with bulb seal up here in the head. So it's just as tight as any window that's out there in the market. Now the balance system, what's holding these sashes up? How many folks are familiar with the block and tackle balance system? Kind of like a kite string? What we utilize, and this is unique to the Simonton Amcraft product, is a 3/4 inch stainless steel coil. Okay? Operates back and forth just like the seat belt on a car. Now, depending upon the size of the window, we may actually utilize 3 different coils with 1 balance shoe. Now, the balance system, the sashes have a self-aligning pivot system that keeps these, because it's a double hung window, you gotta have something that keeps the 2 jambs together. The pivot pin itself, you can see how it's kind of an hourglass shape. What it will do is it will fit into our pivot shoe, and it actually will lock in. All right, so imagine, again, as I said, we don't have any beading rail. We build this window 54 inches wide and 7 feet tall with no beading rail. The balance shoe itself locks in. It keeps your sashes aligned, level and straight the whole way up. So you've got 4 different contact points. Your installers are going to love this product to put it in because of the alignment. It keeps everything square.
The industry test average cycle test that we have to pass with our coil balance springs is 4,000 cycles. Simonton actually tests to 8,000 cycles, which simulates opening your windows once a day, every day for 22 years.
Okay. The insulated glass unit, the IGs on all of our Premium Plus products have low E square and argon gas as a standard glass package. Okay, we're going to provide you with extra enhanced glass packages as well, but low E square and argon is a standard package.
Yeah, because you have to understand when Jared starts making glass backs on, he'll probably choose a glass back as your standard glass back. It doesn't necessarily mean what we're showing today is what you're going to have as your standard glass back. So he'll release that to you. We have several different kinds of glass backs, but Jared's going to choose the proper ones for your area here. So more to come.
Okay. The thing to remember about the Premium Plus product is that this is our product with all the options as far as we've got. We went ahead and showed this sample with some interior laminates. We have 3 different laminate options. We have on interior products, we have a maple, we have the cherry that you see here, then we also have a contemporary oak. And again, that's with the Premium Plus products. Now, these were developed by, we were assisted, I should say, by Aristocraft Cabinets, or one of our sister companies, as far as giving us the technology to put this together. And I'll go ahead and pass this around. Y'all can see that some of the old laminates used to be a lot like what do we say, Tony? Contact paper, shelf paper. Yeah. And everybody's probably familiar with it. This really, it's a nice. It's got the wood feel to it. Yes.
So do you have these colors available, like exterior and interior?
Great question. In fact, I'll take a left turn and go there.
Steve, Well, before we do that, a little bit more on the laminate, and we did co-develop this with Aristocraft Cabinets. Not only did they give us some trending on what they were seeing as far as color palette was concerned, but they also put us in contact with a manufacturer that could supply a furniture-grade laminate that would be applicable to the interior of a window. So that is actually a furniture-grade laminate that you're putting on the interior. I would challenge anybody, any homeowner, to tell me that that doesn't look like a wood window from the inside. So you get the aesthetic of wood, but you get the durability and the ease of maintenance of vinyl.
How durable is that finished? I mean, what's the, normal, how?
I don't have a technical spec to it, but when we were developing the product, I took a key to it,
Yeah.
and I couldn't scratch it.
Oh, that's good. Is it repairable if it does get?
We do have, there's a bottle of touch-up paint that is, and actually in the corners, the way that we clean our welds in the corners, you can see that when you're putting the window together, when our lineals come in this way, so our 21-foot lineals come in with the laminate on it. So in the corners, actually what you'll see is when we clean that corner, we scarf that down to where you can see white. And we use touch-up paint in the corner. And it matches very, very well. That was one of the challenges of the project. But we ship a bottle of touch-up paint with every interior laminate.
I might also add that prior to Tony taking the position as a regional sales manager, he was actually the product manager for this particular product. So this is his baby. He helped develop this. So.
Steve, does that change lead time on production?
It does. It would be longer than it's actually 3 weeks. No, pardon me, 2 weeks for this. It's 3 weeks for the exterior paints that you were asking about.
Anytime you talk about a premium plus or call, whatever, it's a 2-week lead time on that product. So you know, I think in this area.
Okay.
I cover half the United States, so sometimes I get confused. When you
Right.
get into a value product, we can typically get that to you in about a week. So, you know. And I doubt if you'll be selling value product. This would be your core product right here.
No matter what product you're ordering via Amcraft, every window is made custom by Simon. We make every single, it's made to order, essentially. So we don't make a window, we don't stock a lineal until that order comes into our facilities. And then we make it. And we make every window custom on a 1/4 inch increment.
Tip-to-tip sizes is what we call it, to a 1/4 inch.
Correct.
Now, the question about the exterior paint options. We have bronze, we have a brick red, we have cocoa, and then pine. Some people will call it forest green. So these are a delayed item as well. But again, it's something that people will want, particularly a lot of multifamily complexes that you may run across will need the bronze. People like this blue green. Now also, as part of the options for our Premium Plus is we have some nice hardware options. Moen Faucets, they helped us develop this. The oil rubbed bronze, you can see the brushed nickel hardware right here. The applied lift rails. This is standard, correct? On the Premium Plus product. So we have brushed nickel, we also have a dark bronze, and then everybody's favorite, brass. Everybody remember what brass was the thing?
Yeah. It's coming back.
Is it?
Serious.
We got it.
So you know on the left handles, what you're seeing is your standard offering. We do have your contour, which is fully
Integral, right.
So you know, so you have 2 options because some homeowners absolutely don't like this. It's just a fact of life because they're used to seeing that one lift rail go straight across. We can do that also.
So is this an upgrade?
This is not.
This is standard.
That's standard.
Right.
So is the.
There's no cost difference.
Okay.
I mean, there is, you know, what we eat, so what? I mean, when you're talking things. But we just came up with this 6 months ago, and it is, this cherry and this nickel, it's just hot. It's amazing.
And again, you may find that you're not going to sell a whole house full of these interior laminates, but when you're in the home, you might go into the kitchen and see that their cabinets are this cherry finish, and you can say, hey, look what we've got for you.
I think the neat benefit with that, you know, you're talking to your homeowner, especially when you're talking with the housewife or whomever you're talking to, the female in the home, is that, think about the fingernails, folks. This doesn't break their fingernails off. I know it sounds silly, but that's a heck of a benefit for the woman in the home. Like my wife, she does her thing and goes, I'm thinking, holy crap, that's more than my window costs, you know. When I took it home and showed her here, I said, what do you think? She goes, that makes sense.
So bring a nail kit to do your window demonstration.
Yeah, I've got a little super glue, works really well. But you know, that's just those little nuances when you're talking to the decision maker. Believe it or not, there's hot buttons like that all over the place. And that was one that my wife pointed out to me, so I guess take it for what it's worth.
So you don't do single hungs and single sliders, or
And no single ones,
none at all?
because that's, in our world, that's not a true replacement window.
All double vented, we have end vents. Now, I mentioned that double vented product. Keep in mind that our standard offering on the screen, and it's a really, you can see it's an extruded screen frame with mitered corners, is a half screen.
Can you take that out for us, Steve? Sure. So I'm going to pass it around. What you see here is we actually, from the extruded screen, you know what a difference on an extruded screen and roll form. Okay, roll form is just a hunk of metal rolled over, but this is actually extruded. What they call a billet. It's run through a press, and it all comes out looking like this, and then it's cut. That's why it's so strong. What we've done is we've actually put gussets in there and stamped it. I think it's like 1,000 pounds of pressure. You get stamped in, it's not going anywhere. I'm telling you what, you take this out, show the homeowner, can do one of these things. And I used to do a lot of stuff. I would tell my homeowner that if you can twist this thing and bend it, I'll knock off 15%, but I didn't say that. That's just some of the things we used to do.
We like to think that that screen will help sell the window.
Oh.
Because it's really, it's a nice one.
The full screen come with the double hungs?
Full screen is an option. This, and again, this is where and we can work with you on this, Jared. A lot of customers, they have full screen as a standard default on your products. I put these windows in my house. If I've got a double in Tulsa, they got bugs in Tulsa. I got a full screen. Yeah, because it just makes all the sense. But what happened is Simonton we paid a marketing company a bunch of money to survey some folks, and they determined that people wanted to look out the window as opposed to looking out the screen. But again, you know, if you got your windows open, you want to keep the screens out.
It depends how Derek wants to build your window, quite frankly.
Have you thought about coordinating your exterior colors with a grip edge palette so you can match it with what we're doing for grip edges on our roof?
Talk coil.
What's that?
Talk about coil. Is that what you're?
It would be easier for you to match the coil to our paint, if that makes sense.
Well, there's about 8 standard colors, you know, with a grip edge comes.
Right.
And I'm just thinking that it would be, nice to be able to coordinate your exterior colors. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, but
So the reason brown vinyl failed is they wanted
the heat.
how is this compared with this?
We've done some accelerated testing on that, and it's passed with flying colors. Now, there's a 10-year warranty on the paint as far as any splotching. As we all know, anything's going to fade. A white window will fade a little bit, but there's the 10-year warranty on the paint as far as any fading issue, or probably any splotching issues.
Can it be made?
Yes, because I had that.
With,
Sherwin-Williams, it's a special paint formulation. Right. The way the painted products are built is we fabricate the window, glaze it, wrap it, and send it to a subcontractor who will paint it. Grids are pre-painted. If you have provided lights in the interior, we'll match that up as well.
Is a nail fin an option, or strictly a replacement, or say there's more going on and we could use a nail fin?
I'm not sure if we've touched on that with the premium plus. An integral nailing fin with the premium.
really get into it. But that option is probably a snap-on option, because there is a receiver on these windows. Because we've got just a tremendous new construction window.
Yeah, normally, a true replacement, we're not going to utilize.
Okay.
Now, I mentioned that this product had all the options. It also has a full product line as well. We have bay windows, we have bow windows that we built to be custom sizes, sliding patio doors of several different sizes, with the exterior finishes as well. No, excuse me, with the interior finishes. We don't have the exterior finishes on the doors. We also have garden windows, French doors.
Casements?
Sorry?
Casements?
Yes, sir. Casements with the exterior colors in green plus as well.
That is a tremendous casement. Truth makes all the hardware guaranteed.
We use
like
Truth
that.
hardware. It's a multi-point, one lock, operates the entire arm.
It's nice.
First class.
Yeah.
And we'll build it 3 feet wide.
Nice.
So. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
One of the things with insurance claims that we've had a hard time overcoming, you know, with the adjuster is they see a broken glazing bead, and in their mind, it's just a piece of plastic that can be replaced, you know, on the exterior, because the hail hits.
Right.
They don't even want to consider the fact that the seal's been damaged or anything like that. Is there any industry support for the fact that when you go through those atmospheric conditions, the window's been stressed to the point that can you help us
Yes.
explain that to an adjuster so he doesn't give him $50 to replace the plastic?
You'll have-
Those
yeah.
seals are gone.
You'll have more trouble with the insurance adjuster, but if the independent adjuster, he'll make that fly like you wouldn't believe. So
Yeah.
you're probably talking about the insurance, the adjuster works for the insurance company.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously, we work for you guys.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
and you guys work for we would take care of it. Probably and that's kind of touches on our warranty issues. There's a lifetime warranty on the main frame, lifetime warranty on all our hardware, a lifetime warranty on the glass as far as seal failure, stress cracks.
That's tremendous in itself. That is tremendous. That is actually an Amcraft warranty. It's not a
Right.
Simonton warranty.
And there's a glass breakage, lifetime glass breakage.
Lifetime glass breakage on that unit.
And that's something that Amcraft does on their own. Now, in the event that there's a service issue with the product, the first thing that we would need is the order number. And all of our products are going to have an Avery label on the side of each of the sashes, on the inside of the screen, which typically wears off in about a year from the weather. Then we also have a label up in the header. Okay. There's several different numbers on here, but the important one is our order number. It's a 7-digit number. It could be like 5551234 /08 or 06 or 09, the dimension for that particular window. What that does is that tells us what kind of glass we have, what the size of it is, what the colors were, and what we would need from your homeowners is, you know, I need a bottom sash for order number 5551234, line 8, and we'll send out the sash itself. In the event that there's a reglaze on a picture window or something along those lines, we have a national agreement with subcontractors that will take care of that as well. So,
Now, back to his point, because the lifetime warranty isn't going to include acts of God, right? I mean, hail hits at 2 inches or something. We're not
right, and act of God is the insurance.
Right.
issue.
So
But what I was telling him, excuse me, is, you know, if it's an issue, you know, about where the insurance is just going to pay for the glazing bead, and you know the homeowner's stuck, and
But you've got, yeah, I mean.
we're going to
you've
make
got-
it right.
Right.
You know, I tell people this. We don't want to sound arrogant, but we've been around 65 years, and we've sold millions and millions of dollars worth of windows. We don't have time to piddle. It's not worth making one of your homeowners angry. It's better just to take care of it and move on. That way everybody has a good feeling.
What if an adjuster just buys the IG? Do you sell the IGs by themselves, or?
Yeah, but again, you know,
I think everybody, we're in the insurance mode in the training and talking about that.
Sure. I see.
Vinyl replacement windows for us it's almost, we walk from the business. It's frustrating because it's terrible. Insurance just has never been up to par. The third-party price system, Xactimate, is not, it's not true. It's not true to what a true replacement costs. I think in what everybody's trying, we can address this outside of this training class. If it's our window, we put in a private label Simonton Amcraft product. Obviously, we're going to have the full support after a hailstorm to be able to get those components replaced. If it's a window that's maybe not a Simonton product, getting I guess the knowledge to be able to overcome those objections with the adjuster, we need to work on those, because I mean, I've been fighting that for 6 years.
Really?
And since I've been in the business, and they just want you to reglaze it and pay $50. And as we all know, half the vinyl replacement windows in the market space aren't even existent anymore. They were new construction, startup company that went out, whatever it may be. So I think as a team, it's my job to get with everybody and some of the senior guys on how we can overcome those, and maybe even turn those into opportunities for new sales. Because it is, I mean, it's amazing, hundreds and hundreds, thousands of windows over the last 6 years we've walked from, just because it becomes, you try to overpromise and you can never overdeliver.
That's one of the things I was gonna ask and get to was, as somebody in the industry, if you could produce written documentation explaining those facts that we could turn in to the insurance company with a claim to explain why we're asking for something.
Okay.
You know, so that there's something credible outside of our own, because I think we're just gonna try to get them for whatever we can, but if the industry produces information that the insurance company can see and say, you know, this is what really happens when that glazing is compromised or something, it might help us be able to sell it to them without them thinking we're just trying to get over them. You know, external documentation.
Take a look at it. Yeah, I know what you're saying. My son's in that business too, so I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna fight with everything that they can. You know, if there's no, they always say, prove it, you know, so maybe we can prove it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you've got fogged glass, it's pretty easy to prove that IG has been compromised, right? But it literally, and in the case, and I can only speak for Simonton, this glazing bead, literally, the only function that it performs is that all of our IGs, for the most part, outside of the picture window, are what we call wet glazed. So we actually lay a silicone bead, then we lay the IG in, and then we snap in, actually, in many cases, hammer in the glazing bead. Literally what that glazing bead does is it holds that glass in place until the silicone dries and is set. Once that's done, all this is an aesthetic piece. Okay, so like I said, I can only speak for Simonton's windows. That's how we construct our windows. It's how we design the window, and the reason we did that is because we want the force from the outside atmosphere pushing against something that's structural to the window. A lot of vinyl windows that you'll see have a glazing bead on the interior. It's the exact opposite of the way that this one was designed.
As I mentioned, you've got one tower, one final tower, where the design pressure pushing against that, so it's really strong.
And it's integral. It's a dual wall tower, and it's integral to the extrusion. So it is actually a part of that window.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
Are they shipped, because they're an argon filled window, are they shipped with a breather tube? Because you're bringing it up to altitude? Or?
No, because we're not needed at 5,000 feet. Now, in the event, I mean, all our literature says anything above 7,000 feet would require a capillary tube.
What if we're doing something in the mountains?
You need to order it with a capillary tube. It's a no charge.
Just gotta let us know.
Just let us know.
Because we ship over to Gila 7.
And so, if you're running a lead in Grand Junction, we still, like Earl said, we'll still take windows up over the hill and back down, and there's never an issue. I say, not an issue very often, but yeah, anything around 6,500 to 7,000 feet, we suggest a capillary tube. So, does Does everybody know, how many people get questions about how do I know if argon gas is gonna leak out? You ever get that question?
Most people don't know. They have no idea.
So for your information, argon gas doesn't leak out, but it actually will dissipate through the glass itself. Glass is a porous product. And so it will dissipate 1% per year. So say over 10 years, you'll get a 10% dissipation rate. When you talk about leak, that leak means it's coming out like a balloon, but it will dissipate 1%, so you can honestly tell them the truth. That's what's going to happen.
You have an option for a more dense gas like Krypton glass, or?
We do. Krypton's an option. Triple, and again, Jared will work with you on that. We have triple glaze options where you've got 3 different lights of glass in here.
And we've got, like, say, a mirrored laminated glass, Krypton glass, triple.
Is heat mirror still around?
Yeah.
They were in trouble last time I was around.
No, Series Windows out of the East Coast, they use the old Kensington folks. That was their claim to fame.
Yeah.
And again, Earl mentioned laminated glass. That's a big, it's one of our more premium options. Laminated glass is like the glass you find in the windshield of your car. It's got a piece of vinyl plastic in between the 2 lights. It's virtually impossible to break through.
So again, Jared will set your options for you. You know, we're trying to, we have so much, but you can get to the point of, okay, what the heck did you just say? So he's going to make it very simple. When you go to a homeowner, this is your window with the glass, with the options. It's a metro window. We just support you all here. That's what we do. So we don't know what your window looks like right now. So physically, we know what it looks like.
Any other questions on a Premium Plus?
All the glass is tempered?
No, glass, tempered glass is an option.
Okay.
And obscure glass is an option as well. As far as the obscure options, we have the frosted glass. That's it.
Okay.
You know, a lot of companies may have rain glass and some of these others. But, again, it's more of an inventory control. If you give people too many options, then it takes too long.
And what we've done is we've made double strength glass standard on this window. Other folks are using single strength, and they're a little bit less expensive. There's a lot of reasons why we're a little bit more expensive than the 189 kind of floating in. So, and you probably need to look at those guys, know your competition. It's very helpful. When we talk about warranty, it's actually a double lifetime is what we're giving your homeowner, which is a lifetime, just basically on the window. And then if your homeowner sells their home, that then transfers over to another lifetime. It's fully transferable. So it's like having a new set of windows in an existing home.
So it transfers just once?
Yes, yes, that's correct. But most everybody will revert down to a 50-year, typically. No more glass breakage, because we have a lifetime glass breakage. They'll be okay. That when you transfer it, that's gone. So what we're saying that we partner up with such a great company as our own company, as ABC Supply also, that we felt like we could afford just to give you the best warranty on the street today. Because all we do is private label. I do not sell across the counter, and we come to folks such as yourself that have multiple salespeople that sell high-end. That's all I deal with. So you're not going to find somebody buying this over the counter at ABC Supply. What they'll buy is they'll buy the value window. Chuck the truck, he's down the street, that's fine. That's what it's there for. He could no more sell this window for $800 to $1,000 to save his life. You all can probably.
Now, we also have a value, what we call value engineered window as well, that you probably may use in your program. And you can see it's a little bit different on the profile. You can see it's more of a cove look as opposed to a pronounced bevel. And again, it's double blended products, not nearly the options that you have with the Premium Plus product. Again, we still utilize a 3/4 inch balance system and self-aligning pivot system. and all that, but it's more of your drop product that I think you may be using the rehash.
Yeah. Most companies your size will use it as a rehash product if they have to. It's there, and I made that offering to Jared. If you need it, here you go. So you'll have that.
Any other questions? Anything, we need to add anything?
Where do you fall as a price point for upper end windows? I mean, are you?
No clue. No clue. We don't get in that part of the business. Thank you very much. We're just product guys.
We'll talk about that, Tom.
That's right, that's right.
I can tell you where my son sells his, but because we're in the Metro St. Louis area,
Yeah.
I would tell you he's this window, $850 a window to $1,000. He has a private label through ABC Supply and myself. I have no idea how that happened. And he's in the restoration business. Let me tell you what, when he shows this window either to his adjuster, the insurance company, he says he has his own window. You should see it. Dad wouldn't believe their eyes go, really? For some reason, that's a hot button for the adjusters. He deals mostly with the independent adjusters. There's a reason why he does. But it just lit up their eyes. You have your own window. Yeah. So he put it in his literature now. Go figure. So there's a lot to be said for having your own window. Trust me.
I'd like to know how he gets independent adjusters. You know, just.
Well, you have to know my kid.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. He'd probably shoot me. But as a company, he does very well. In St. Louis, tornadoes just hit, and he emailed me. He goes, I'm just going down the street, and I'm just giving these things out. He goes, they're stopping me. He goes, and he's a totally union shop, so therefore he has access to the whole hall, and he's going to need it. He's on that system you were talking about. Exactly.
The first part of this handout touches on our value product. And again, we call it Metro 1 and Metro 2.
Would you mind?
So it'll be branded.
I tell you what, I have this on a stick.
That's what.
You're awful like that here. Camera guy. Oh, it must be the sound system.
Sure.
Some of the adjusters,
Right.
we call them waste managers or something.
You mentioned experienced fiberglass.
Fiberglass, great option, great question. Fiberglass is standard, aluminum is an option, and I did neglect to tell you that there's a lifetime warranty on the screen as well. I don't know of any other window company that'll give a lifetime warranty on the screen.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Steve, to answer your question, there is no other window company.
There is, okay, yeah.
How could they do that?
So, you know, if somebody insists on getting aluminum screens, we can do it. But, you know, the grasshoppers, saliva takes care of it, we'll take care of that as well. I have a buddy of mine in Tulsa, his elderly father-in-law walked through a patio door screen, and we took care of it.
So what happens if the screen gets destroyed by hail hits? Can those screens be replaced by local,
We'll sell screen.
you'll replace the screen?
Just like I said.
How long,
But we need the order number. That's the thing.
what's the turnover on that, on screens?
Oh,
It comes in your next truck. There's cutoff days, just like any other window. Let's say, I'm just guessing, if your cutoff was Monday at 5 o'clock, we'll have it to you the next week.
That's a great selling point.
It's over. That's typically with the exception, you're painted, it's going to take 3-4 weeks to be painted. But typically, your replacement parts, a week or two after cutoff date on our truck. We don't like UPS because they get a little brutal in their handling processes, so everything really gets shipped through directly to ABC Supply. ABC Supply will contact you, and I don't know what their process is there. But we're working through a lot of those processes for your company. You have to understand that ABC Supply owns Amcraft. ABC Supply is a national company. We've got 500 stores throughout the United States. Almost a $5 billion company. I've been with the company 23 years. I've been with Amcraft 13 years. We have our 20th anniversary this year. 30th of ABC Supply coming up next year. So you're talking about a company that has a lot of strength. We're privately held by Diane Hendricks, period. There's no shareholders. It's a family-run organization. I remember the day when I started with 43 stores, and who'd have thought it was still here? But it's a heck of a company to deal with. You're fortunate you have TJ as a manager. He's done just a wonderful job. The whole store, I can tell you, I kind of pick and choose the stores I want to deal with, and after stepping into TJ's store, what a wonderful group of people to deal with. Young, aggressive, bold, aggressive, just a wonderful group of folks, and they can solve any problem that you might have as far as delivery. But I'm always available, Steve's always available, so you have a team behind TJ and process the stuff in there.
This is our double slide product, the Premium Plus as well. Same sash members that we use. We use a vinyl wheel roller as opposed to brass, because we found that brass is going to leave marks over time. We do have a steel axle, but vinyl roller, and both sashes will operate, and both can be removed out of the car. We also carry indents with 3 lights, depends on the part of the country you're from.
So if that deteriorates over time, you can just replace the rollers.
Yep. And it typically won't, I mean, over time, it's all according to how it's kept, but we really don't get a lot of calls for it. In times past, we had a vinyl axle, and that was problematic, because if you got double strength glass standard and you got a big sash, what it would do is it would collapse the axle, and that was a problem. We've since, last 3 or 4 or 5 years, we graduated to the steel axles, so it operates perfectly. Okay?
So you know, on the handout, you'll see type 1 and type 2. I had no clue what your window would be. So the type 1 is actually the value window, which you probably need. So type 2 in your handout
This is the premium.
is your premium design on the window.
Yeah, guys, type 2 is what we're going out with.
Yeah.
If we had to revert as a drop after the initial presentation, we could go to the type 1, but we're only out there offering all.
I mean, and again, the type 1, if you look at the profiles, it's just so much prettier. More importantly, look at the amount of vinyl. Tony mentioned about the .72. I mean, this is so much thicker and so much more vinyl than you've got in your drop, and we have very few issues mechanically with this big product.
They carry the same warranty though?
Yes,
I think so, yeah.
we did it for your company.
And that's Amcraft. Simonton doesn't have nearly the warranty with this, or pardon me, for this product as it does for our top of the line stuff. It's actually reduced a little bit.
What we've done on the product is your drop unit. We've reduced that to 20-year accident glass breakage on that unit. There had to be some division somewhere.
Right.
If it's 25,
that after 5 years.
get it to us, we'll get you into the new sash. You gotta take care of yourself. They're number one. They pay my salary, just along with yours, so we have to make sure we take care of those folks. I have to be very comfortable in dealing with you and your window line.
Other questions?
Okay, so you see on the back of
Talk to the guy in the corner office.
on the back of the handout that I just had given you, you're gonna see an order sheet.
Last sheet.
The last sheet. I was didn't know what to really do with that. That is something that we designed for the company, and Jared is looking at it and to see what he'll maybe probably redesign it, so you know. I didn't know how you handled your business in home, so we designed that on Excel. If you want it, fine. If not, you're going to be set up on a centralized ordering system here at your place, so everything gets ordered from here and goes directly to Black, Wisconsin, to me. We then order this system for you, just delivered to a TJ store. So that's kind of what happens in the process. So if you have a customer that, what we call in, should they kick on you, and the windows are in-house, you bought some windows. I've got to tell you, once that hits computer system, that's why we get windows out within 7 to 14 days. It's there and it's still making it. Am I correct?
Correct.
Now, to say that, if in fact the homeowner goes, well, we just simply can't afford it, the house just got bought, we'll work with you on it. We'll give you a credit of 50% of the order, as long as it's still sealed up, ready to go, we'll ship it back, and we'll credit your company 50%.
Let's make that very, very clear. As long as the window has not been installed.
Yes.
And is not damaged.
Within 90 days.
Within 90 days.
We'll take it
We'll
back
return
to
that for
50%.
50% credit.
Yeah, we know
I
things
know
happen.
nobody's going to make any mistakes on measuring.
No.
Well, that's what I was just gonna talk to Steve about. I mean, we're gonna have somebody go out and do a remeasure on, I mean, as you can probably tell, I've been living in this for a long time. The, you know, getting somebody out to do exact measurements on this stuff, is generally a rep will go out and, you know, to get a general price.
Sure, sweet.
You know, get somebody out there to actually do a real measurement on those. You know, after the sale, you know, would probably be a hell of an idea. That's
Your
too scary
installers
to send
typically
it.
will go out and do that.
Yeah, it's too scary to send something out like that and then
Yeah.
have
Oh,
it
yeah.
not fit.
Yeah, we highly encourage whoever's putting the window in the hole to measure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because there's no physically way I can fly in from St. Louis and measure your jobs up right.
exactly.
Are you sure?
I do my best. I really, really do. But I can tell you most, I can tell all my dealers, you know, they'll go out and do measurement. Okay, that's how I get my costing, by the UI. Get the agreement endorsed by your homeowner. Then typically what happens, you're installing, gets